I'm 80 years old now. My hands shake when I hold this camera, and my voice isn't as steady as it once was. But there's something heavier than age sitting on my chest today. Something I should have said years ago, when it still mattered. People think losing someone happens all at once. A hospital room, a final breath, a quiet house afterward. But that's not how I lost my wife. I lost her slowly, quietly, day by day, long before she was ever gone. We were married for over 40 years. 40 years sounds like a success story, doesn't it? People hear that number and smile. They say things like, "You must have loved each other deeply," or "You're lucky to have had so much time together." I nod when they say that. I smile back, but inside, I know the truth is more complicated. In the early years, she was everything to me. Her laugh filled the house. She talked with her hands, always telling stories, always dreaming. She believed in me before I believed in myself. When I came home tired from work, she noticed. When I was quiet, she asked why. When I failed, she reminded me who I was. And I loved her. I really did. But somewhere along the way, I started confusing love with presence. I thought being in the same house was enough. I thought providing was the same as caring. I thought silence meant peace. I was wrong. Life got busy. Work became stressful. Bills needed paying. Responsibilities piled up. And slowly, without realizing it, I began to give her the leftovers of my energy instead of the best of it. She would talk, and I would half listen. She'd tell me about her day, and I would nod without looking up. She'd ask how I was feeling, and I would say, "I'm fine," even when I wasn't. And then I'd retreat into my chair, my newspaper, my television, my own world. At first, she tried harder. She planned dinners. She asked questions. She reached for my hand. She would say things like, "We don't talk anymore," or "I miss you even when you're here." I heard the words, but I didn't hear the meaning. I thought she was complaining. I thought she was overreacting. I told myself, this is just what marriage looks like after a while. I believed love was supposed to get quiet, that passion fading was normal, that emotional distance was just part of growing older together. But what I didn't understand was this: love doesn't die from arguments. It dies from neglect. Little by little, she stopped trying. She stopped telling me about her thoughts. She stopped asking for my attention. She smiled less. She laughed softer. And I didn't notice. Or maybe I did, but I didn't want to admit what it meant. I was still there physically. I slept beside her. I ate dinner across from her. I asked routine questions. But emotionally, I was gone. And eventually, she was too. There's a moment burned into my memory. I came home one evening, tired as usual, expecting dinner to be ready. She was sitting at the table, hands folded, just looking at me. Not angry, not crying, just tired. She said, "I feel invisible." I remember feeling annoyed, not because she was right, but because she was right. And instead of fixing it, I defended myself. I listed everything I did for the family. I talked about how hard I worked. I made it about me. That was the moment I truly lost her. After that, something changed. She became polite, kind, distant. The argument stopped, but so did the connection. I thought that meant things were better. I didn't realize that silence can be louder than fighting. Years passed like that, side by side, but worlds apart. And then one day, she got sick. Suddenly, I was paying attention. Suddenly, I was scared. I held her hand in hospital rooms. I listened to every word she said. I told her I loved her more times than I could count, but there was a sadness in her eyes that never went away. One night, when the room was quiet and the machines were humming softly, she looked at me and said, "I waited a long time for you." I didn't know what to say, because I knew exactly what she meant. When she passed, people told me I was strong. They said I was devoted. They said I was a good husband. I thanked them, but when I went home to that empty house, the truth came rushing in. I wasn't just grieving her death. I was grieving all the moments I wasted, all the conversations I ignored, all the chances I had to love her better. Now, at 80, I sit alone with my thoughts, and I replay it all. The times she reached for me, the nights she wanted to talk, the mornings she hoped I would notice her. If you're watching this and you have a wife, please hear me. She doesn't want perfection. She doesn't want grand gestures. She wants your attention, your presence, your heart. Put the phone down. Turn toward her when she speaks. Ask her how she feels, and listen to the answer. Hold her hand for no reason. Tell her she matters even when life feels busy. Because one day the house will be quiet, and you'll realize that the thing you miss most isn't her cooking, or her routines, or even her voice. You'll miss the chance to have loved her the way she deserved. I'm 80 years old, and if I could go back, I wouldn't work longer hours. I wouldn't chase distractions. I wouldn't assume there's always more time. I would choose her every day, fully, while she was still here. Don't make the same mistake I did. If I can give you any advice today, without judging you, without lecturing you, it's this. A relationship doesn't break in one day. It slowly falls apart because of small habits we think are normal, and because they feel normal, we ignore them. The first mistake is this, assuming your wife will just understand. As men, we often think that if we're quiet, everything is fine. If we're in the house, that should be enough. But silence is not connection. Being present doesn't mean your body's there. It means your heart is there. When she says, "You never listen to me," it doesn't mean she wants to fight. It means she's afraid of losing you. The second mistake, turning every conversation into a problem to fix. When she talks, when she complains, when she shares her feelings, don't rush to give solutions. Sometimes she just wants you to hear, "I understand. I'm here. That makes sense." I made this mistake again and again. I was always trying to fix things, and in doing that, I forgot how to listen. The third mistake, treating respect like a routine. At the beginning, we say thank you, we say please, we give compliments. Then slowly, those things disappear, and we tell ourselves, "She knows I love her." No, people need to be reminded that they matter every day in small ways. The fourth mistake, pushing your wife lower on your priority list. Work, your phone, friends, stress, being tired, everything moves ahead of her, and she gets pushed to later. The problem is, later often never comes. My wife never complained about how much money I made. She complained that I wasn't emotionally available, and no amount of money can replace that. The fifth mistake, believing you have plenty of time. I kept telling myself, "We'll talk tomorrow. I'll spend time with her this weekend. After retirement, things will be better." And then one day, time ran out. If you're listening to this and your wife is still alive, sitting next to you or in the next room, you are lucky. You still have a chance. Look at her. Put the phone down. Ask her how she's doing and actually listen to the answer. Because one day,
you might be sitting where I am saying, I wish I had understood sooner. I'm 80 years old, and this is my biggest advice. Don't delay love, don't postpone attention, and never make your wife feel invisible. If she's still with you, be fully with her, because memories stay, but opportunities don't.